everyone, it's April, May, June Stitcher here. It's been about 6 months since my last update. I've got quite a lot to show and I'm going to try and do it in the order that I stitched it in from what Instagram showed me. I thought that was the easiest thing to do when I was collecting everything together. I didn't think I was going to come back and film a video, but I just fancied doing an update for you. If anyone is still around to subscribe to my channel or whatnot. So anyway, I'm going to show all of the things I've worked on since September last year. So the first thing I started was Lizzie Kate Seasons, or Four Seasons. This is autumn. I only stitched on this for a day, I think, and that's how much I got done. I was going to pick these up and do them every season, but it is what it is. I felt like I was in a bit of a stitchy funk towards the end of last year, and I was a bit all over the place, and I think that will show as we go through. I'm going to put everything away as I go because I'll get in a right state if I don't. Then I went to the Yorkshire retreat in October, and I stitched on a few things there. I started a few things, but I have actually finished them, but I'll show those in my finishes and FFOs. So next thing I worked on was Cruising by Glendon Place. This is just going to be one of those slow projects I pick up as and when. So that's what I worked on, and that's how far I got. I actually bought, oh, I'm getting in a mess already. I bought an antique sampler from eBay that somebody was selling, and I love this. I love how simple it is. I don't know the young girl who stitched it. I don't know her name. There's nothing on it. So she'll just remain a mystery. So I managed to take her out of the frame that she was in, and then I just made a small start because I'm not charting it, I'm stitching off the sampler. So, and her colours on the back are quite they're quite bright, but it was a very muted sampler anyway. They're quite bright compared to the back, should I say. So that's just one I'm going to plod along with, and I'm using some, I picked some colours, but I might change them as I go along, but I'll just see. Then something else, I did show this in my last video of something I bought. This is a little embroidery, and it's by the Stitchery, so Christmas Angel. So there's going to be all sorts of, there's Christmas and Halloween in here for, well, it's 6 months worth of stitching, which it isn't really a lot, but yeah, it just is what it is. So the picture on this isn't very good, so hopefully you can get an idea of what that's like. But I made a small start on her just by filling in the dress. She's only tiny. So then the next thing I did was I joined 2 online classes for the Royal School of Needlework, and the first one I did was this Vintage Baubles by Kate Barlow. So you sign up online and then everything gets sent to you in the post, and then you do an online class, and I think this one was over 2 different days. So you joined up with people from all over the world, and then you just work through the project together, and then you they show you how to do one bit, and then you go away and do the rest of that bit, but you progress through the whole of the design, so you know how to tackle each part. So this is where I have got to, and this is gold work here. So just because it's called gold work doesn't mean that it has to be done in gold. So this is leather, and it's padded leather, and then you stitch it down and then do little bits with the gold work in the middle, and then some embroidery at the top. But I just need to fill in the rest of the baubles and then do some more stitching on the branch of the tree. So this is one of my favourites, and it seems to be a favourite to my friends. I feel like they're battling over it, like they think they might get it for Christmas, but neither of them will be getting it for Christmas because I love it too much. And the other one I didn't get very far with this one because I ended up having, this was only a day, well, it's not even a day, it was an afternoon online class, and I ended up having to leave early because I had a work thing to get done. But this one is mistletoe, and this is from, they think they found a panel of Elizabeth I's dress, the heavily embroidered dress. There's a painting that shows the sort of style that the dress that she wore. I'll insert that here. But it's called the Bacton altar cloth because it's something like her, you can look this up online, but it's her favourite lady in waiting had ties to the church in Bacton that this was in, and she donated it I think to the church, and because of the way it's made up, they know it's very likely, should I say, that the item of clothing was made for royalty because of the types of things that were used in it, and the stand of the embroidery that was used. So anyway, so what they've done, the Royal School of Needlework, is they were preserving it but also taking very high resolution photos of the designs, because the reverse is much brighter than the front, because it was left out, because it was made up into an altar cloth. Sorry, this is a very long-winded story. And then they've produced, I think, 4 designs from the altar cloth, inspired from the altar cloth. And anyway, so this is mistletoe. So I love it. It doesn't look as beautiful as what it actually is in real life on the picture, so it's a shame, but this is all I managed to get done. But I will go back to this, and they supply everything in the kit. I mean, they're not cheap to do the classes online, but they are pretty lovely to do. Then another thing I worked on is Heaven Above by Midsummer Night Designs. I love this. Somebody very kindly sent me this chart in exchange for other charts. So she reached out to me, and I was so grateful because I've loved this design for a long time. So I've not done much, but this is where I am. And again, this is another just stitch, a slow stitch to do as and when I want to, like everything else, I suppose, really. One thing I've dropped. Then this is When Flowers Blossom by Brenda Gervais. I've not done much on this, but it's a little bit. And this is where I am. Then something else I've been working on is Jelly Bean Jubilee. This by Brenda Gervais. It came out last year, I think, and I'd already stitched 2 things out of the book. But I'd also ordered some, because I'm doing mine on pastel fabric, and I'd got some, and I'm trying to use up my fabric that I won't ordinarily use, so people are judging me for it, but I'm stitching slap bang in the middle of a larger piece of fabric just to say that I've used it, and then, you know, but anyway, that it's using up my stash. So I had already done last year Jelly Bean Garden, I think it was, and this is on, I'm not sure if you'll be able to see, it's like the lilac equivalent of Vintage Country Mocha, so it's the slightly hand-dyed looking fabric. Hopefully you can see that. And then I can't remember what this one's called, but that's the other one that I did last year. So then one that I finished this year was, I think this is Walking the Tulips, or Tulips Walk, or something like that, and this is the pink version of the lavender version of vintage, whatever it is, vintage pink maybe. So I've managed to finish that one. And then another one that I started was Let's Paint Eggs. Now what I'd done is actually ordered some fabric from Chromatic Alchemy, what I thought would be pastel-y type colours, but it's really hard to tell what fabric will be like online. So when it came, it was like, wow, it was really bright. So let me show you, I'd ordered a yellow, it was called Daffodil, but it was really bright. If I can insert a picture of what they were like, I will. And I can't remember what the other ones, but there they are. But I took them to bleach and managed to take out a lot of the colour, so then they gave me these lovely pastel-y colours. So anyway, so this is where I started Let's Paint Eggs, and then I've got the other 3 to finish off, which hopefully I will get done over Easter, and then I can make up into pillows, not necessarily over Easter, but you know, just as and when for Easter. Then something else I've worked on is Beneath the Sunlit Sky, yeah, by Blackbird Designs. And this fabric is really gauzy, so I'll just put something behind. I've gone wrong on this border, so I've ripped out all of that and then corrected it, and then I'm just working my way through it pretty slowly. But I would like to get this done, and I'd like to get it framed because it's one of my favourites. And then something else that I started, my friend, she wanted to buy me something cross stitch related, but didn't want me to choose. She wanted to do the choosing, and she ended up buying me, she knows I like winter and Christmas, things like that, but it's really hard to, she doesn't know anything about cross stitching, she's not interested in it really, but she was determined to buy me something cross stitch related to the things that she knows I like. But she ended up buying me some dimensions kits, which I'm not going to do what I've bought over the time I've been away, because I've put it all away and I'll be here forever trying to remember what I've bought. But anyway, one of the kits she bought me was Coffee Shop by Dimensions, and I felt that I needed to start it just so she could see that I was working on it, and that's what I have done so far. It doesn't look like a lot, but because of all the changes in the dimensions kits, that's what I've managed to get done in, I think, in a day. But yeah, that'll, she's seen that I've started it at least, which has made her happy. And then the last thing I've got to show is I started this a few weeks ago, and it's a Quaker sewing tray by Brenda Gervais. And I've got the I showed this in my last video. I bought a tray from Hobbycraft and I painted it in the reddy burgundy colour. Hopefully that's coming across. It might come across as quite brown on the video, but I've got, I think this is 30 count, and it should fit in there when I've finished it. So yeah, that one's quite again, just as and when I want to. And then I have got some finishes and FFOs to show. So I'll just show my finish. There's only two finishes that aren't FFO'd yet. And I can't remember what this is called. It's by Just Nan. Winter. Oh, I can't remember. I'll have to put it up on the screen. But I bought this off eBay. It had already been a used kit, so the charm has already been used, but I just want to find a little snowflake or something that I can put in the centre and then make it into a pillow or something like that. I've gone on to a Just Nan almost frenzy of, I've bought a few charts of hers because I'm sure you all know that they go, once they're produced and they're sold out, that's it. They don't generally reproduce them unless there's, I think a few things have been reprinted, but not many. But anyway, so you'll see those as I stitch them. And another thing I have finished is more of a let me get it out of my whip pile, because I don't enjoy stitching on this fabric, which is I bought the Glitter Village series and wanted to stitch it all as one big piece, but the fabric just sent my eyes really funny. And I've stitched on the gold fleck before, which is bad enough, but this iridescent, it's almost even worse, and it's hard to see the holes. And I stitch in hand. I didn't want to put it on a Q-snap or a hoop to make it. So I've just finished off house number 1, and I'd made changes to this anyway to be more, just to be how I wanted it to look. And I'm going to finish it into a pillow, and that's it. I probably won't return to the rest, but I'm happy with that decision. So those are my finishes, and then the rest I've got to show you are all FFOs. You probably would have seen the stitching before, but I just had, this is what I've done as FFOs since September. So I had a bit of a finishing day with some pillows. So this is Joy to You by Shepherd's Bush, and I usually do the technique where you sew around and leave a gap, stuff it, and then sew it up with the ladder stitch. But this time I decided to do the Laurie Holt, cut a hole in the back, stuff it, and then stick some wool felt on the back, and then add a little buttons or charms or whatnot. So that's what I did. I don't know how I feel about these, but I went with it and just thought I'll give it a go. But I love having the charm, but I'm not sure how I feel about the whole cutting it anyway. So that's the back, and I just added some buttons that I'd got it from my big box of used buttons. that's one. So then I've got another one from Shepherd's Bush, and this is Scare You. These are the ones where you buy the button and then you get the chart with the button. So that's that, and then that's the back, and I chose some Halloweeny coloured buttons to go with the stitching on the front. And then another one that I'd finished was, I can't remember what it was called, but this is by Little House Needlework, something big, I can't remember. And then I added a button and a bee charm. I've got loads of those bee charms, so it's nice to be able to use them up. And I tried to use colours that complemented, with the felt that complemented the back. So there's that one. And then the other one, oh, I did two. So this is the drawn thread, something autumn. I can't remember what it's called, but and then that's the back. And I quite like this. I used some little acorn and pine cone charms that I'd bought, and then I added a little metal charms and a button. It's a metal button. I actually used the Tim Holtz, the alcohol that you can paint metal with and then turn it a different colour, and that's what I did with the safety pins, because they were silver safety pins, just to tone it down so I could add the charms to them, because they're sort of a coppery coloured. So yeah, there's that. And then the last one I did with all those pillows was this one by Pineberry Lane. Again, I can't remember the name of it, but as soon as this design came out, I bought it from her online shop as a PDF, and then I'd got the fabric. I'd had the fabric for ages, and then I used some felt and some buttons that were all in the, I think these are Laurie Holt buttons actually, and yeah, and I added some lady dot chenille around all of them. So there's that one. Then I've just got a big pile, so this is going to be all out of order. Myself and my Stitchy BFF Christina, we do our exchanges, 3 exchanges a year, our birthday, Halloween and Christmas. And so the last exchange was, the last exchange you would have seen was my birthday. So we've had Christmas and Halloween. So this is what Christina stitched me. This is a freebie from Lardy Dar, and she added some pumpkin faces at the bottom for the fringe, and then that's on the back with a little hanger. So I love that. And I'll insert a picture of what I stitched for Christina. It's Scary Berry, I think that's what it's called, by Erica Michaels, and I dyed the fabric myself. I was so pleased with how it turned out, and I really did not want to give it away. I've kept the pattern so I can stitch it for myself again, and I've got enough of the hand dyed fabric for myself. In fact, I did actually order the call for fabric, but I had to get it from Traditional Stitches in Canada, but it didn't come in time. But in fact, the picture looked more like the fabric I dyed, and then when the fabric came, I was glad that I had done the hand dyeing of the fabric, because I just love how it turned out. And another thing, I had showed this tray. I'd finished the tray before I'd actually done the stitching on this in my last video, but this is my completed FFO of Almost Halloween by the Drawn Thread. So you'd seen everything in place except for the stitching, and when I added that, I added a tiny bit of orange and white baker's twine around the outside, and I'm so pleased with the way this turned out. It's one of my favourite finishes. I painted the tray. It was 3 trays from Hobbycraft for about £8, and I painted the tray orange and then over painted it with black, and then took wire wool to it so you could see the orange paint through the black, and then just waxed it. So yeah, that is one of my favourite FFOs that I've done. Then we're doing Christmas now. Everything is a bit flattened because it's been away, but this is Christmas Thoughts by The Drawn Thread. I'd showed this on my last video as finished, and then I just FFO'd it just before Christmas, I think, with some fabric. I quite like the way it turned out. I'm not sure about this button here, but it is what it is at the moment, so if I change my mind I'll just amend that, but it was fine for the quick few days it was up for Christmas. And then this is, I think this is called Gathering Basket by Blackbird Designs, and I'd already done the stitching quite a while ago, and then I just found a frame in a charity shop, and I stuck some buttons on it which I quite like, some Laurie Holt buttons, and then stuffed it in a frame. So I quite like the way that turned out. And then I picked up some proper framing, which was this is the Biscornu by Blackbird Designs. This is from the Agnes Platt booklet from Blackbird Designs. And I'm so pleased that I chose the red frame like it shows in the book. See, I love this. It's one of my favourite finishes. Then I finished, this is Home for Christmas by Mill Hill, and this is a Mill Hill frame. I bought the frame a long time ago, but I wanted the right sort of cross stitch to go in the frame, and when I found it, I had to order this from 123 Stitch because it was out everywhere here. I think because I bought it close to Christmas and they always go. No, I tried to get it over Christmas and it was just out of stock, so I think I ended up buying it in the summer, and then I finished it in January, I think January or February. But yeah, I love how this one has turned out as well. And then another one that I've got in a Mill Hill frame is Gingerbread Hollow by the Victoria Sampler. I bought this as a PDF because they have stopped doing kits and or accessory packs now, I think, because she's retired. So I kitted this up myself, and I used DMC or just hand dyed threads from my stash. So yeah, I'm really pleased with how this has turned out. I ended up buying the big beads from Etsy, and I've got a massive bag full of these beads that I just needed to do this. And then I've used some buttons that I had in my stash. Oh, it's not properly in the frame. I've only popped it in. What else did I do? I think that's about it. This is stitched on 28 count. You're supposed to stitch it on 32 count so it fits in the frame better, but I had this blue fabric and I really fancied stitching this on a blue wintry sort of coloured fabric, so mine just, I don't think it looks too bad, but it just cuts off the edges of the cross stitch ever such a little bit. So there's that. Then I started this last January, and I bought this from the Nimble Thimble as a kit, and I finished these 3, hopefully you can see this, I'd finished these 3 last year, and then I just left this for ages, so I thought, come on now, just get it done, and I finished it in February, I think. It was just this little pillow that I needed to stitch. So this is on that 32 count iridescent fabric, as well as the same as the Glitter Village, but I was just glad to get it all done. But I love how this looks. And I just made it into the little pillow, and it comes with the pins as well. And yeah, and that's all finished for this Christmas. So yeah, I love this. This is one of my favourite finishes of I've gone on a bit of an Erica Michaels kick as well. So I've bought, not Erica Michaels, sorry, Jeanette Douglas. This is Christmas Box by Jeanette Douglas, and yeah, I've gone on a bit of a spending spree of buying some Jeanette Douglas stuff that I won't be showing you because I've already put it all away. And then my absolute my absolute favourite finish of since my last video is Merry 15 by Just Nan. And this was a limited edition kit for the silver needle, I think. And you could buy the pins, and the pins are absolutely amazing, but I haven't got the pins. But I really wanted to stitch this. So I'd bought the fabric because I'd got a friend who said I could borrow her pattern. And I bought the this is called for red. I can't remember what it's called now. It's like mulberry or so, I can't remember. And I know, but it's discontinued now. But I managed to buy a band of it from Arts and Designs here in the UK, and the fabric should be that 28 count iridescent, but I think that's discontinued as well. You can only get it in 32 count, I think. But yeah, so I just use normal, just plain 28 count natural linen. So, and then I stitched them all up, and it was such a lovely thing to stitch. But then putting it together and following the instructions, and I was really amazed that I managed to get it done. I bought some beads. I changed the bead colours that they called for. There's one that is like a striped bead, which I couldn't get for love nor money. So I went to my local bead shop here, which is Spellbound Beads, which some people may have heard from, but it's about 20 minutes away. So, and I love it in there. So I just bought some nice coloured beads, and then I put it all together, and I was amazed that I was able to put it together. It nearly killed me, but I'm so pleased with how it looks. And this is my first Biscornu ever, so hopefully you can just see everything. And I used a Swarovski button for the centre. So yeah, it's one of my proudest things that I've done. So sorry, I keep showing it. And then some of you may have seen on Instagram, I'd done a few years ago now, I'd done Shepherd's Bush, a full heart, the kit, and I'd finished it onto a box lid, from a paper mache box lid. And there was a mishap with some bleach spray, and bleach ended up on the fabric of the outside of the box. I was lucky that it didn't hit the cross stitch. It's hit other cross stitch, which I'm trying to figure out what to do. But anyway, so it had hit the because it stands up like this, and it had hit this bit of the fabric and then taken the colour out. So I needed to refinish. Well, I didn't need to, I wanted to refinish it, and I couldn't get the same fabric because I couldn't remember what the name of it was called, because I'd only bought a fat whatever of fabric. So I found this, and this is Liberty Lane or something like that. Liberty Lane, I can't remember. But then this is I'll show you on the lid. This is the another part of the fabric which I think complements it really well. So I just ordered two half meters of the fabric so I could finish the box properly. So, and I love how it's turned out. It's quite padded at the bottom. Not that I ever put anything in the box, but I'm really pleased. I'm hoping you can see it properly, but I'm really pleased with how it's turned out. And then I've just finished it off with some chenille trim from 21st Century Yarns here in the UK, which is a favourite. And I'm hoping this doesn't look as lumpy as what it does in photo, but I finished the bottom off with some wool felt that I've got. So yeah, I'm so pleased that it's all just sort of, it's done. Oh, and I've got one more FFO, sorry, that I need to show, and this is Welcome Christmas by The Drawn Thread. And this is a frame I ordered from Picture Frames online or something like that. It's the first time I'd ordered a custom frame online. So I only ordered the one because I wanted to see would it work, and yes it did, and I'm really pleased with how it turned out. I started this cross stitch at the Yorkshire retreat, and I actually finished it at I started it in October, and then I went on another retreat in March, and I finished it at the retreat. So that was quite nice to have got that all done. And I love the little beads it uses as the Christmas lights. I'm hoping you can see this, and I'm loving this frame. I'm sure it's Picture Frames online or something. I'll put a link in the bottom. But what my plan is, because I've ordered all the others, I've ordered the 3, so Welcome Spring, Welcome Summer and Welcome Autumn. They also do Welcome Winter, which I might get, but we'll see. But what my intention is, so this, you can see this is another casualty of the bleach. So this one, I was very lucky with where this hit, that it was within the fold. So all I did was, when I ordered the frame, it came with, I could have some acid free mount board cuts. So all I've done is stuck it to the mount board, and then I can just pop it in and out. I won't bother putting it back on because I'm going to be swapping them in and out. So that's, if you understood any of that, I felt like that was a real waffle. So yeah, I'm so pleased with how this has turned out. So that is, I think, everything. I'm pretty sure 6 months was quite, oh no, we had Christmas. Our Christmas exchanges. Christina, what did you stitch me? And I can't remember for the life of me who it was by or where it was from, and I can't look up on Instagram because I'm filming on my phone. So, but I'll put the information at the bottom, and I'll insert a picture of what I stitched for Christina. It's a drawn thread design, which I can't remember the name of. But yeah, so I can't show you what I've done for our birthday exchange because we share the same birthday. So I've already sent mine off, but because our birthday isn't until next month, I can't show you what I've stitched. So that's everything I think I've worked on since September. I didn't feel like it was going to be a lot, but I think that was, I'm quite pleased with the amount I got done, considering I felt like I'd lost my stitchy bug for quite a while. Now I'm going to show, oh sorry, one other thing that I did do, it's not cross stitching, but it's some applique, wool applique. What is this called? Oh, Mr. Crow's Pumpkin by Buttermilk Basin. And there's one shop here in the UK that I think sells the kits. I'm hoping you're going to be able to see this properly. So this is what I managed to get done, and I did start to do the blanket stitch around the pumpkin and the stalk and whatever this thing is here, and the leaf. So that was my first go with a buttermilk basin, and I love it, and I would love to be able to get more. So I'd like to finish that this year, like everything else. And I think that's everything. So I'm going to show you some purchases that I've made that I haven't put away. So these are what I have got from Nashville. Some of my Nashville releases and some other things that I've got. So at the retreat that I went to in March from the Yorkshire Stitchers group, that is on Facebook, I got some Mill Hill kits. This is the snow globe, gingerbread house snow globe, then Christmas Eve, and Ye Old Santa. I have got another one, it's a sleigh, but I don't know where I've put it. So those are my first Mill Hill ornament kits that I've got. So these are what I got from Nashville, and I love this, it really makes me laugh. And this is Hello Goodbye by Lady Catherine Kitty by Summerhouse Stitchworks. It's one of my favourites. She also does a dog as well. And then A Heart Remembers. I'm sure everybody's seen these because I bet there's an influx of people showing what they've bought from Nashville. So A Heart Remembers by Blackbird Designs. Then I got What Remains, again by Blackbird Designs. And then I've got The Rabbit and the Rose by Brenda Gervais. Regina Hable by Brenda Gervais. Then I've got English Sampler Berries by Erica Michaels. Oh, sorry, I should do it like that. And then The Sewing Bee, again by Erica Michaels. And this one I absolutely love, which is Gathering Honey by Luminous Fibre Arts. And I've actually got the called for silk, which is teddy bear. So I'm quite pleased that I've got that in my stash. Then I've got Keeper of Pins by Brenda Gervais. And I know she says this works with another few of her designs that she's done in the past, which I have got those, and I have already stitched one, which I don't know where I've put now. No, I don't know where I've put that, but I like a red, a bluey red rather than an orangey red, so I'm going to use the same sort of colours as that. I think I'm not the red that I used in my cross stitching that I can't show you because I don't know where I've put it. God, I'm hopeless. That's what I'm going to try and replicate. So there's that one, Keeper of Pins. Then I've got do Elizabeth Hunt 1845. Yeah, I thought this was really pretty. I love that border. And then Rejoice Evermore, again by Brenda Gervais. And then that's going to fall over. Then The Seasons of the Heart by Brenda Gervais again. And this one, I've already kitted this up, and because I'm so good at those, you know, keeping up with seasonal stitching, I would like to stitch these one per season, doing them all this year. So I will start off with the spring one. So, and I've got the called for fabric. And then this one, Humming of the Bees by Blackbird Designs. I just nearly fell off my chair when I saw this. Had to have it, and I'd like to start this on my birthday or slash Christina's birthday. Not that she'll do this. Yeah, I'd like to start this on my birthday. And I think Michelle at the Striped Rose is starting hers today, if I'm not mistaken. Saturday the 26th of March, Michelle, is that right? I can't remember. But yeah, I'm really excited. I've kitted this up. I've just got to find some fabric that's to stitch it on. I have got the call for fabric, but it's not a big enough piece, so I'm just literally going to use what was in my stash. And then two other things that I bought, which you might find interesting, you might not, is these are kits from Jenny Aiden Christie, sorry, Jenny Aiden Christie. This is, what is this? This is Little Row of Seaside Houses, and I love this. I've wanted this for ages, and it was in stock when I looked, so I ordered it, and it's just beautiful. And then I also ordered a Lakeside Odyssey, again by Jenny Aiden Christie. So beautiful, and I feel like I've got the Owl and the Pussycat one. I've shown that before, the kit. I feel like I've got more confidence now to be able to tackle these, so I would like to have a go. And that is everything from me. I feel like I've whipped through this really quite quickly, so sorry. It's oh no, I've got one other thing to show. An antique, it's not cross stitch embroidery, and it was in the most, I'm going to use the word amazing frame, but not in the sense that it's amazing. It was like, wow, it was a statement frame. It's 4 frames in fact, and I'll insert a picture here of what it looked like. When I bought it, and it was like, it weighed 10 pounds I think in when it came. It was massive, but I've managed to get it out of the frames, and this is a little piece, and I just love it. I think it's so sweet. I'm not sure what I'll do with it. I would like to have a go at embroidering the design at some point, but I just love it. So yeah, and the colours are still quite, that's the reverse. They glued it onto a piece of linen, so I managed to get it all off. But the colours aren't too bad on the front, considering I'm not sure, I don't know anything about it. I know they bought it from an antique shop, and they'd had it for about 10-15 years. But just wanted to sell it for some reason, and I'm glad. I just loved it when I saw it. So yeah, that is absolutely everything from me in the past 6 months. I feel like I've whipped through this really quickly, but in a way that's good because it's done, and I need to edit this and upload it to Facebook, no, upload it to YouTube. So there we go. If you've got any questions, I'll leave my email address in the description box as well, or in the comments. I'll try to answer them. I don't always get notifications, so I miss a lot of the comments. But yeah, and then life just happens where before you know it, 3 months has passed and I've not uploaded a video and I've not answered any comments. But there you go, so that's life. Anyway, I hope everybody is okay and looking after themselves, and we're enjoying some really beautiful weather here in the UK. It's unseasonably warm. It's really nice, but you end up seeing a lot of people in shorts and t-shirts really quite early for us here. But anyway, I will see you maybe soonish, not so soon, 6 months, a year, I don't know. Anyway, take care everybody, bye.